While Donald Trump was having his Sunday meltdown on Truth Social, his running mate, J.D. Vance, was actually trying to, campaign a little bit, I guess. He went on Fox News Sunday with host Shannon Bream, where he, much like Trump was having over on Truth Social, also had a nervous breakdown. J.D. Vance, who, is supposed to be the younger guy, totally not mentally ill, had a freaking nervous breakdown on Fox News when Shannon Bream confronted him about his absolutely horrific poll numbers, which then forced J.D. Vance to deny the very reality in which we live. Here's how that went down. Vance started by saying, the media uses fake polls to drive down Republican turnout and to create dissension and conflict with Republican voters. Oh, okay, bud. So literally every single poll that shows that you're the most unpopular vice presidential candidate ever, that shows that Donald Trump is getting his butt kicked in the swing states that he was winning just one short month ago, all of those are fake. Now, before they shifted in Harris's favor, though, all those polls were real, right? Okay, they were real, but then they became fake because the media needs to push this narrative. No, the best thing for the media is a horse race. Okay, that's what they want. That's what they need. And they're not getting that anymore because Harris is running away with the damn thing. I'll tell you what, even a Rasmussen poll, which for the record was the last poll because it skews heavily to the right, showed Trump winning. Everything else showed Harris winning. But a Rasmussen poll from about 2.5 weeks ago still had Trump winning. It changed over the weekend. They released a new poll that shows Harris winning. So even this very skewed to the right polling company can no longer hide it. So when I say every poll now shows Harris winning, believe me when I mean every poll. There is not a single outlier in the bunch anymore. That is historic. But I've barely even gotten into the heart of what J.D. Vance says, so let's continue. Bream asked him, quote, another poll we got out this morning, and this, of course, was after he had said, oh, the polls are fake, don't worry. Well, she goes, well, another poll we got out this morning, Washington Post, ABC, they're giving the vice president nationally a 4 to 5 point lead. Those are new numbers, so if you think the momentum is not swinging or your internal polls are suggesting differently, every other poll that's been released has shown great momentum in her direction. So she's like, listen, bud, I hear ya about the whole fake polls thing. Trust me, I hear ya. I get it. I got it. But here's another one. Like, maybe you want to adjust your talking points, okay? Because here's another one. I don't even know if you've seen it, but yeah, you're getting slammed, buddy. And then Vance chimed in. I think there are a lot of polls that show her stagnating and leveling off. Now I can't even finish this statement because I immediately have to stop to fact check you. There's not. See, stagnating or leveling off or whatever J.D. Vance wants to call it would of course be indicated in the polling data if her numbers were not going up. We would see the same number for Harris over and over and over in poll after poll after poll. That hasn't happened. Her numbers continue to rise. She continues to gain on the issues, where she is now beating Trump on most of the issues. So there is no stagnation. There is no leveling off. She keeps getting more popular, JD, and you know it, but you've got to convince your base that all of these polls are fake. And there's a reason for that, and I'll get more into it in a minute after I finish Vance's breakdown. Of course, ABC Washington Post was a wildly inaccurate pollster in the summer of 2020. And look, if you're seeing the numbers that we're seeing and you actually talk to the American people, I feel extremely confident that we're going to be in the right place come November. If you talk to insiders in the Kamala Harris campaign, they're very worried about where they are. I mean, they're terrified. I don't know what to do. But we're totally, we're in the best place ever. Nobody could be in a better place than us. Those folks over there that don't have to worry about the polls, they're the ones that are terrified, right, JD? I mean, that's literally what you're saying. We have had reports, by the way, for weeks that Trump insiders are freaking out. That Trump is freaking out. He's freaking out about J.D. Vance. He's freaking out about his donors. He's freaking out about everything, his staffers, his campaign managers. He is the one freaking out. And Vance goes on Fox News, and Shannon Bream does not push back on that claim. Instead, lets him roll with it, and it's total BS. It is not based in reality whatsoever. We have not heard stories from the media about dissension in the ranks from the Democrats. We have not heard horror stories coming from the Harris-Walz campaign. Oh, they're yelling at us behind the scenes. Oh, they're freaking out. They're throwing ketchup on the walls. That hasn't happened. And Vance is out here trying to convince you that somehow it did happen, even though, again, it didn't. And for the record, the polls are not fake either. But here's the thing. As I mentioned, there's a reason why J.D. Vance is out there doing this. Actually, there's several reasons. First and foremost, he's got to cool the donors. The donors to the Trump-Vance campaign right now are ready to pack it up and go home for the year and just concede that, yep, the Democrats are going to run away with it. We're not going to waste our money on these lousy investments known as Trump and Vance. We're done. So he's out there in the media trying to calm the fears of the donor class, letting them know that, no, trust me, things are just randomly going to turn around for us, even though we're not going to do anything differently. That was for the donors. Now, for the base, that's where the fake polls comes in. Because we already know that Donald Trump's base, who of course is now with Vance to a degree. They don't seem to like him, by the way, based on the comments on Truth Social. But it's his base too now. So he, like Donald Trump, has to go out there and convince them that, yeah, we're not headed for a landslide defeat in November. If we lose, it's not because the polls were showing we were going to lose for 3 months. No, those are fake polls. We were actually ahead. So when we lose, it's because the election was stolen from us. And when the election gets stolen from us, that's when y'all got to do your thing, right? We got to do what y'all did back on January 6th. We're going to need another one of those. That's what this is about. Because Vance could easily go out there and admit to reality. He could go out there and say, look, the polls don't look good right now. Sure, she's in a bit of a honeymoon phase. You know, yes, she's ahead and she's going to have her convention bounce, but don't worry, we've got the debates coming up. We're going to mop the floor with these people and we're going to move on and we're going to win this thing. That's how you handle it without sounding like a whiny, psychotic individual. But Vance couldn't even do that. He had to lean into the lies, say that, nope, fake polls, fake news, fake everything, fake crowds, fake whatever. We're great, they're bad, you know it to be true in your heart. Yeah. It may get your base riled up. It may even spark them to do something horrible when you guys lose, but it's not going to convince any single voter out there that might still be on the fence that they should vote for the reality deniers instead of the people with actual momentum. Hi, everyone. This here is little Athena, and Athena would like to know why you haven't subscribed to Fair and Balanced yet. So please, don't let Athena down. Subscribe today.